Let's talk about something every thesis defense student fears. You're in the middle of your defense, you get a difficult question, and halfway through your answer, you feel it. This isn't going well. You are not really addressing the question, you start using vague jargon, you speak a little faster, you begin to ramble. There's no doubt about it. You can feel it. This is a weak answer. Unfocused, maybe even irrelevant. This is common, and it happens to everyone. It still happens to me, not as a student in a defense, but as a researcher. When I apply for research grants and do my presentation there, I also get tough questions. And yes, sometimes I still give weak, irrelevant answers. And of course, I see this all the time as an examiner as well. Some students give weak answers, but recover well. Others don't. So in this video, let's talk about how to recognize, contain, and recover from a weak answer. Step 1. Recognize that you are giving a weak answer. And honestly, this part is not that difficult. It's quite simple. Most people can sense it immediately. You feel that you are not substantively addressing the question. You notice the reactions of the examiners or the panel members. You hear yourself talking without really saying much. Those are clear signals that the answer is not going well. The difficulty is not in recognizing it. The problem is what many students do next. When they sense the answer is weak, they keep talking anyway, hoping the answer will somehow improve. And most of the time, it doesn't. So the key thing here is recognize that the answer is not going well, and more importantly, do something about it. So that's point number 2. Do something. Don't keep talking nonsense. When you realize an answer is weak, the worst thing you can do is keep talking. Don't allow yourself to continue talking just to fill the space. If you don't know exactly what to do yet, the safest move is actually very simple. Stop. Wrap it up. A short, weak, incomplete answer is much better than a long, confusing, and incorrect one. A long answer can expose additional problems that weren't even there before. So the goal here is damage control. Recognize the weakness and don't let it escalate into something worse. Point number 3. Contain the damage mid-answer with a clear reset. This is a situation I see very often, both in myself and in students I examine. Sometimes halfway through a weak answer, the correct or more relevant point suddenly pops up into your head. What many students do then is that they try to squeeze that correct point into the already messy answer. And that usually doesn't work so well. A much better strategy is to reset clearly. Use a signal that tells the panel what came before wasn't ideal, what comes now matters. For example, just say, "Let me rephrase that more clearly," or "That wasn't the best way to explain this. The key point in response to your question actually is this." That one sentence does a lot of work. It discounts the weak part of the answer and highlights what follows as the core response. Point number 4. Use structure. It is your fastest recovery tool. When an answer is going badly, structure is your best friend. Structure is often enough to restore some credibility, even if the content isn't perfect. Instead of rambling, say something like, "There are a few different perspectives on this question," or "Let me answer this from a few different angles." Examiners don't just listen to what you say, they pay close attention to how you say it. Many universities these days use some form of competence-based assessment approaches, and attitude is a key part of competence. If you present your thinking in a structured, reasoned way, that alone signals competence, even if the substance is slightly imperfect. So, when in trouble, add structure and demonstrate the right attitude. Point number 5. Mental reset. Focus on what's next. Here's what actually causes problems in thesis defenses. Not one weak answer, but letting that moment spill into subsequent questions and thereby creating a weak pattern. Examiners don't expect perfection, but they do notice patterns. So don't let one weak moment become a pattern of bad answers. Reset mentally and deliberately. Take a sip of water, sit back, pause for a second before answering the next question. That sends a clear signal to the examiners and to yourself. That moment is over. I'm now going to focus on what's next. Treat every new question as a clean slate. Point number 6. Circle back later if you can. This happens quite often. You give a weak answer to a question, and later in the defense, another question reminds you of something important that would have been a much better response earlier. If the situation allows, circle back. You can say something like, "Actually, this discussion reminds me of an earlier question. Let me quickly clarify that." This is not a problem. Examiners usually appreciate it. If a later question triggers a clearer or more accurate response to an earlier one, use that opportunity. You can still repair some of the earlier damage. In conclusion, weak answers happen. They happen to students, they happen to professors, they happen to me as a researcher, they happen to everybody under pressure. What matters is not avoiding them entirely, but knowing how to recognize a weak answer, contain the damage, and recover from it. If you stay calm, structured, and deliberate, one weak answer will not define your defense. Check out my other videos on thesis defense. I am sure you will find them interesting and helpful. As always, I invite you to leave your thoughts and comments down below. Thanks for watching this Ranywayz random video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.